harder, blow harder.
Blow it.
Blow it again.
Blow harder. Blow.
Blow it.
A precious, beautiful little girl celebrates her second birthday, but she won't live to see her third. Neither will her sister. And now their mother is behind bars in another state. I'm Angenette Levy, and this is Crime Fix. Let me tell you something. If you think crime is scary and the cases I cover here on Crime Fix are frightening, wait until you log on online and see how much of your personal information is floating around out there. Your name, your phone number, even your address, it's all on the internet for data brokers to sell or scammers to steal. Our sponsor, Incogni, lets you take back control. They find which data brokers have your info and they demand they remove it. When I signed up, they actually found more than 50 brokers with my data. And within days, it started disappearing. Setup takes just minutes. Create an account, authorize Incogni to act for you, and they do the rest. And with their new Unlimited Plans custom removals feature, you can submit custom links where your data shows up, and a team of privacy experts will remove it for you. So if you care about your online safety, and you really should, take your data back with Incogni. Use code CRIMEFIX for 60% off an annual plan. Kinsley Kite and her younger sister Kelsey were two adorable, beautiful toddlers. Kinsley was 3 and Kelsey was 2. The two little blonde girls had family members who loved them dearly. On January 8th, 2026, Kelsey's mother posted a video on Facebook wishing her a happy birthday. Take a look.
Blow it
Blow
out.
harder. Blow harder. Blow harder.
Blow it.
Blow it again.
Blow harder. Blow.
Blow it.
Blow
Blow it,
harder.
Kelsey.
Blow.
Blow.
Blow. Kelsey, blow it.
Oh, God.
Sadly, tragically, that was the last birthday that Kelsey would ever celebrate. Kinsley would not live to see another birthday either. On February 11th, Kinsley and Kelsey Kite died on the same day at a home in Harris County, Texas, outside of Houston. Detectives with the Harris County Sheriff's Office say the girl's maternal grandmother found the toddlers in a swimming pool, but she didn't know how long they had been there when she got back from running errands. Detectives say the girls had been home with their mother, Laura Nicholson, and that Laura's father had come home from work that morning, but he had gone to bed after working an overnight shift. The scene that these prosecutors describe in these court documents is horrifying. Grandmothers adore their grandchildren, and finding these two toddlers in a swimming pool is something no parent or grandparent should ever have to endure. Detective Alfred Vera wrote in an affidavit, Affiant interviewed the grandmother, who told Affiant that she left to run some errands about 9:30 a.m. She said when she left the residence, her daughter, Laura Nicholson, was asleep on the couch and the children were playing in the living room area. She said when she returned just after 11 a.m., she observed the back door partially open. She said she then observed both children in the pool and began to scream and holler. She said several neighbors also came over to help out and called 911. This, of course, begs the question, who was watching Kinsley and Kelsey? According to detectives, their mother, Laura Nicholson, was supposed to be, but she wasn't. And I'll tell you what detectives say Laura Nicholson had to say about this shortly. There was nothing that could be done to help Kelsey and Kinsley. The toddler sisters were gone at just 2 and 3 years old. An autopsy was conducted to determine what caused the girls' deaths. The results that the pathologist provided to investigators revealed something very concerning beyond the swimming pool. Dr. Nada Rutherford is the coroner in Richland County, South Carolina. She is not associated with this case at all. Dr. Rutherford, I want to get right into the details of this case. It's really tragic. One of the disturbing things here is that on autopsy, the pathologist says that the toxicology results showed that both of these little girls had cocaine in their systems. These are 2 and 3-year-old little girls. What effect could cocaine have on little girls if they get into contact with it?
Well, one, thank you so much for having me. And this is truly a tragic case. You have two children exposed to an illicit substance. There is no medical reason for someone to have cocaine in their home. It's not used for any sort of purpose other than illicit and recreational drug use. And 2 and 3-year-olds aren't just doing cocaine. They have happened upon this in the home in some capacity, in some way. They've been exposed. And so when you see this, you have to automatically assume that the adults that were present in these children's lives were not watching them appropriately. And that's not an opinion. That is, there was an illicit substance in this home that these children had direct access to.
Later on in this affidavit, the doctor told the detective, according to what's written here, that the children might have drowned in the pool. Dr. Costanza stated the drowning is difficult to see on an autopsy and is usually determined by the facts and circumstance of the death, i.e. the patient is found in a pool. Later, it was determined that the cause of death was drowning and acute cocaine toxicity. Why would it be difficult to determine whether the child drowned or not? Wouldn't we just see water in the lungs and things of that nature?
Not necessarily. So let's go back to your original question. What does cocaine do to the body of a child? Just in general, cocaine is a stimulant drug. It's going to raise your blood pressure, which sometimes reaches stroke level. And then for our non-medical professionals out there, let me just give you an example of what that means. So our normal blood pressure should be below 120/80. So when you go and they put the cuff on your arm and they read that number off, it should be below that. That's in the normal blood pressure range. You're getting a blood pressure sometimes in someone who has had acute intoxication of cocaine and their blood pressures are 200/105 and things like that. So your blood pressure is raised significantly, your heartbeat is raised significantly, and you can start to have arrhythmias and dysrhythmias related to that, meaning that the heart starts to beat funny and sometimes it doesn't get back on track. So when you put this in an adult body and those things happen, imagine the effect on a child who is so much smaller, their cardiovascular system is not as developed, and so they are going to have very strong effects from cocaine. And the reason why they can't tell whether or not these children drowned or not is because this cocaine was in their body. So was it that they actually drowned, or were they going to play in the pool and all of a sudden their little heart stopped because of this acute cocaine intoxication?
So the acute cocaine toxicity could essentially be an overdose and they end up in the pool because, as you mentioned, I mean, nobody should have cocaine in their system. It's just not healthy. But these are little kids. They definitely should not have a stimulant like cocaine in their bodies.
Exactly. And you have to also think that we don't know how much they had in their system. I would be very interested to know the actual numbers from the toxicology report, because what I read when I look at this affidavit and the information that has been available to us in the media is that they specifically state that cocaine was found in the system and also the cocaine metabolite benzoecgonine. And what that shows me is that the metabolite wasn't just found. And so let me give you the significance of that, okay, as a coroner who looks at toxicology every single day on cases. When you have the cocaine metabolite benzoecgonine in the system, that shows us that someone has been exposed to cocaine within the last 10 days especially, because this metabolite, this cocaine metabolite, can stay in, especially like the urine, for up to 10 days. But when you start seeing benzoecgonine, the cocaine metabolite, with the parent drug of cocaine in someone's system, this lets me know that this was an acute intoxication, meaning that this happened at least within hours of this person dying. And the fact that the metabolite was not alone lets me know that this was also an acute ingestion. So the fact that these little girls had this exposure, they would have gone down very fast, because it would not take much to raise their blood pressures, to raise their heart rate, and to possibly cause their hearts to stop because of this. The pool just added an extra layer to this. But if they are saying that they don't know whether or not these children actually drowned because there wasn't water in their lungs, these children could have been disoriented to the point where they just ended up in the pool.
Oh, just awful. Really a terrible case. Dr. Nada Rutherford, thank you for breaking that down for us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
So how would Kelsey and Kinsley have gotten a hold of cocaine? Well, 3 days after the girls died, the affidavit says Laura Nicholson's mother, the grandmother of the girls, accused Laura of using cocaine. That was just 3 days after these little girls died. And it wasn't the first time that Laura Nicholson had been questioned about drugs. The affidavit states, Laura told me she went to bed about 12:45 a.m. last night, and her children went to bed about 8:30 p.m. She said she slept on the sofa, and her children woke up about 7:45 a.m. She told me when she got up, she fed the children, and they began to watch a movie. She told me the door latch had been broken for 2 days and would not lock. She said her children are always getting out and running to the pool. She told me that CPS questioned her last year about the drug allegations. She also admitted that her mother woke her up when she got home. So according to the detective, Laura Nicholson said herself that she had been questioned by CPS last year about alleged drug use. All of this, including an interview of Laura's father, occurred in February 2026, right after the girls died. It took some time, but eventually the toxicology results that we discussed earlier came back. That, coupled with the fact that the latch on the gate hadn't been working properly, led the district attorney to charge Laura Nicholson with 2 counts of reckless injury to a child's serious bodily injury. She was arrested in Lee County, Florida, at a mental health facility where she was seeking treatment. I want to turn now to Bridget Williams. She's an attorney who practices in Texas. Bridget, this is really a tragic story. The mother in this case now is facing these charges. So talk to me, if you would, a little bit about the severity of the charges that she's facing in the deaths of her 2 daughters.
This is really a tragic story. The mother right now is facing injury to a child. Injury to a child could range from a state jail felony, which is one of the lowest felony charges that is in our state, up to a first-degree felony. It depends on what we call mens rea. And so that could be if it was done in a negligent way, up into like a recklessness or intentional. And so it really can vary depending upon what the mental state of the person was during the injury of the child. So it can run the gamut between a state jail felony up to a first-degree felony case.
Wow. We have 2 little girls, 2 and 3. I mean, these are children that they can't do really much of anything for themselves. They're pretty defenseless. They're toddlers. And the allegation here is that somehow they ingested cocaine and then were left unattended and ended up in a swimming pool while their mother was sleeping. Is it possible that these charges are later upgraded, or is this as bad as it's going to get for Laura Nicholson?
The charges can always be upgraded to another charge, or other charges can be added on top of what she currently has. And so as more and more evidence comes out, the police department along with the DA's office together can make the decision on if they have enough evidence to move forward with the charge. Now, in a situation like this, I don't think it rises to the level of murder, because that's an intentional killing of another. I'm not even sure if it rises to the level of recklessness for reckless homicide, which would be involuntary manslaughter here in Texas. But I think it could possibly rise to criminally negligent homicide, which is still a state jail felony here. So it could be another charge could be added on top of what she already has, and then she would just have additional charges and therefore face additional time in the penitentiary.
One thing that is really concerning in this case as well, Laura Nicholson, according to everything we're reading in this affidavit, said she had been living with her parents for the last year. Obviously, her children were living in the home with her, but she told investigators that she had been questioned previously by Child Protective Services about drug allegations. So there must have been some involvement by CPS previously with these children. So do you expect that we'll learn more about what was going on there?
I absolutely believe that we will. Information like that typically comes out more so. All the finite details typically come out in a trial setting. So if there was a trial, we would learn so many details because they'll be talking with the family. Along with their investigator, they'll be talking with so many individuals who may have come out to the home as a response if there was something that was going on at the home. And so all those type of details come out in a trial setting. I think those would definitely come out at a later time.
If you are defending Laura Nicholson, how do you defend this case?
There's so many things. If we're talking about for her current charges right now, injury to a child, again, it would go back to what is the mens rea. And when we talk about mens rea, that just means mental state, right? Mm-hmm. So if we are saying this was an intentional thing that was done, the mens rea for intentional, we don't have intent here. So that's going to be something that would be knocked off at the top. We go to recklessness. I don't even think it rises to that, but if we talk about negligence base, that's where it's going to be difficult for someone that is her counsel, criminal defense attorney to represent her on. We can go through a plethora of things when we talk about, that she had some type of history with cocaine use. Yes, she did. Where did the children get this cocaine from? How did it get involved into their systems? We don't know where that came from. And so again, that's information that would come out in a trial setting for all those details. As her attorney, we would really be going through what we call the discovery packet that comes from the DA's office that they present to us to see what could be proven there, what could not be proven. Is there something that could be reduced down? Could the charge be reduced to something else? Could she be someone that needs to go to some type of treatment? That's always an option as well. A lot of times people need to go to a rehab facility or outpatient therapy. There's quite a few things that could be done there. It just really boils down to what's in that discovery packet. Is it a trial case? Is it something that can be worked out in some type of agreement? There's a wide range of things that could happen.
She was arrested in Florida. She obviously is from Texas and had been living in Houston, Texas, that general area. The sheriff down there, his office said that they got the warrant. They found her at a mental health facility. She had apparently been seeking treatment there. So, I mean, could that bode well for her in her criminal case if she was indeed seeking treatment in Florida at a mental health facility, let's say, for drug addiction?
I think it's something that would go into consideration. Does it automatically just make her case get dismissed automatically? No, that's not the case. But it's something that can be brought into consideration for just to consider, is it something that she has a mental health issue? Does she need, again, treatment, right? Is it something that she needs to go back to an outpatient facility? Does she need to be in an inpatient facility? And that's kind of what it sounds like you're saying that she was doing already. Does she need to return to that? And does she need to be at that for an extended period of time? Is that something that can allow for a reduced sentencing? Can it allow for a reduced charge? So I definitely think it allows for mitigating circumstances. It doesn't outright dismiss it.
No, not at all. I think she's going to go to prison. I mean, it may not have been intentional, but it's certainly what is described in this affidavit is so heartbreaking, and it was so preventable. It's unbelievable. Bridget Williams, thank you so much for your time, as always. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
On a GoFundMe page, the family of Kelsey and Kinsley wrote about the girls. They were bright lights in our lives, full of love, laughter, and innocence. Their smiles filled every room, and their bond as sisters was something truly special. Our home feels empty without them, and we are navigating each day through overwhelming grief. Laura Nicholson will be transferred back to Texas to face those charges after she appears in court in Florida. She will have to waive extradition or fight it. And we'll continue to follow this case for you. That's it for this episode of Crime Fix. I'm Angenette Levy. Thanks so much for being with me. I'll see you back here next time.